All right. Um, so we got like huge news out of NASCAR today. They announced the 2020 schedule, and I am like beyond stoked because before this even came out, I heard rumors about my home track, Phoenix, being the championship like weekend destination, and I was like, there's just no way that's happening. But it's happening. So I'm going to go through the schedule, my reactions. I know all the people that are continuously negative and whatnot with anything NASCAR does positive for the sport. That's just them being negative people and never wanting to be happy. So I'm going to go through like race by race and give you my reactions to it and my opinions. Not everyone's going to agree that Phoenix should be a playoff race and should have more than one race, but they can suck it and get over it. But here we go. 500 Daytona 500 not changing. The Atlanta race is getting moved down till after the West Coast swing. So it's going to be the Daytona 500 on the 16th. And then the next week they're going straight out west to Vegas. And then Fontana, Phoenix, and come back to the East Coast to Atlanta. It's more like because of the weather. It's kind of finicky during this time of year in March out there in Georgia. So then the big shakeup, I think, to me is Miami Homestead being moved from the series finale race to just after Atlanta, the sixth race of the season. So we just had our sixth race of the season at Martinsville. So Miami got moved up, thank God, because I'm not really fond of that track all that much. The fact we had it as a championship track for this long is ridiculous because I find it kind of boring. It's just another typical 1.5 or 2 miles, whatever you want to call it. Just I don't enjoy it. Never have, never will. But now we're going somewhere different, like they should every single year. So, going to Texas, that hasn't changed. Next we have kickoff April, Bristol. Love Bristol. Richmond I have a love-hate relationship with Richmond. Then we go to Dega. I'm not really fond of Dega, but there we go. Dover, starting to like that track a little bit more. Beginning of May. And then Martinsville has become a night race on Mother's Day weekend. Now that they have lights there, we can actually see, because the fans have been dying for like a night race at Martinsville, because that's just what we crave. I crave it. So we're going to get it next season, Mother's Day weekend. I'm so stoked. And then we go to Charlotte as normal, Kansas. Beginning of June, we go to Michigan. A lot of these races have not changed, but the dates have, but it's just still pretty much the same order except for a few slight changes. Then we go to Sonoma, typical June race there. Then we go to Chicagoland. And the big kicker here, Pocono, they're doing a double header weekend. So that means we're going to have 2 cup races in a row, like Saturday and Sunday. I don't know how that's going to work. We still have questions. This is all up in the air. We don't know. But this should be exciting. I'm not the biggest fan of Pocono, but we'll see how this goes. And now, another kind of big shift. The Brickyard Indy is being moved up to July 4th weekend to July 5th because it used to be in September. Now it's anytime you go like July or September, it's going to be hot. So it's going to be hot regardless when you go. Then you go to Kentucky, then New Hampshire, back to Michigan in August. Watkins Glen a little bit later than, like a week later than it usually is. And weird thing is, Dover now is not even in the playoffs. So both Dover races are in the regular season, and Dover is the second to last race of the regular season on the 23rd. But the big thing here is people are complaining about Daytona now being the regular season finale. People are gonna gripe and moan. It's like, oh, that's just that's a horrible idea. Because what about the people who are fighting for a spot in the playoffs and it's not Mike? Well, here's the thing: those people who are still fighting for a chance had 25 races to do so before that. How is that NASCAR's problem that some drivers can't get figured out to get themselves locked in, run better, win, whatever? That's on the drivers and not NASCAR. So I'm all for it. Now we move to the playoffs. I'm thrilled about this. So round of 16. Ready for this? Darlington kicks off the round of 16. So throwback weekend is just like the crown jewel right there. Darlington weekend. That's like iconic right there. Starting out with Darlington. And then moving on to Richmond. So these are all basically short tracks that we're going to in the playoffs. Like the first round of the playoffs. Darlington, short track. Richmond, short track. Bristol night race. A cutoff race of the round of 16 is in the playoffs. Yes. Then the first race for the round of 12 is Vegas, which used to be the opener last season and this season. So it moved down to the next round, start of the next round. Then we got Dega in the middle, which could be a good or bad thing, I don't know. And then we got the Roval. So we got 3 completely different tracks here. We got a 1.5 mile track. We got a plate track. That's a wild card. And the Roval, that's still a wild card because it's still new. We've only driven it, raced it once. Like, this is nuts. Then we're going to the round of 8. Kansas is going to be the first race of the round of 8. And then we go on to Texas. And then we go right back to Martinsville. Not right back, but we go to Martinsville, where we all know that drama heats up around this time. Short track racing. And then the big change, Phoenix determines who the champion will be. The final 4 will compete for the championship at my home track of ISM Raceway in Phoenix, Arizona. Boom. And people are like, why is Phoenix getting this? And that's not a championship. I'm sorry, but if you have not been to the track, then that's probably why you have that opinion. I've been to this racetrack like 7 times, like for race weekends, 7 race weekends since 2016. And I'll go for the rest of my life. I don't care. Um, this track is so underrated. It's crazy. Like, yes, it's a 1 mile track, but when they reconfigured it, it changed the style, like the way people are racing, the dog leg for their restart. Like, a few weeks ago, they were racing like 4 or 5 wide down the backstretch after that restart. Like, it's like people find that such like bad racing, or I don't know, but I don't see how people can complain about Phoenix being a championship caliber track. Like Homestead, I don't see as one because that's just a regular blah blah so track. But this is like a driver's track right here. You have to have like the skill and the car to get around this track. Like there's so many like grooves and ways to get around it, and just it causes a lot of action, drama, whatever. I've never seen a bad race at this track. My very first cup race at this track, I saw the best finish like ever. The Edwards and Harvick like neck and neck, like within like thousandths of a second finish. Like Harvick ended up winning, which, but still, like that was one of the most iconic finishes I've seen at that track so far. But I've never seen a bad race there. Every single race, it's been exciting. It's been my super driver in the ass quite a few times, but he runs well there. So if we can make it to Phoenix for the Final Four, then he has a great shot at winning it. So right now, let's get through this season. It's starting off a little rough. But those are my thoughts on it. People think Phoenix only needs like one race a year, which doesn't make a lot of sense and not really fair since Phoenix is so underrated and doesn't get enough love and attention as it is when it comes to NASCAR. Like if we took away Phoenix in the fall, we would not be able to see any of the truck races, and it's just wouldn't be fair when everyone else would like get like a truck race or extreme whatever. Like this place is great for all kinds of racing. Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup is just come on. I don't know how you can say Phoenix is a terrible place to have a championship weekend. Like their infield is insane. Like since they reconfigured that track, redid the whole entire infield from like top, like bottom up, like the victory lanes in the middle of the everything. Fan interactions with drivers, be up close to the cars in the garage area, like without actually being in the garage, but you're in like in the interactive garage. Interact with drivers, crew members, see the cars, whatnot. You can have food, drinks, whatever. Like, how is that? This is like the most fan interactive track I've ever been to. Like, how can you not agree with this being the track to come to for a championship weekend? Like, I just don't get it. It's such a great track, underrated. It needs more love and attention, and this would bring so much more like attention to the sport with such a great racetrack like Phoenix, with the great racing and the action, the drama, whatever. So I'm so stoked on next season. I'll be booking this that weekend ahead of time because I know that's gonna sell out quick. So I'm saving my money for that specific weekend because that's gonna be insane. So that's my thoughts. I need to get some stuff done. So hope everyone has a good day. Leave your comments about the schedule below. I don't want no hateful comments, just your opinions on whether you like it or not, and just give me your feedback. I don't want any negativity, no bashing each other or whatnot. Just let's have a friendly discussion about the schedule for next year. So